What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and I hope you're all doing well today. This video is just a quick heads up for the folks that have been using my Weakauras that I've put over on Weakauras.io for all of the rogue specs. It's taken me a bit of time to find a setup that feels right and that works with all the new stuff, but I've finally got together the new and improved setups that will work with all of the Dragonflight pre-patch and expansion content, since there have been quite a few changes to how Weakauras tracks talent options now that we have all these big old talent trees. If you're just here for the link to the new Weakauras, then it'll be in the description section of this video. I honestly just recommend grabbing the one that's labeled Full Suite, but I did individually upload each section of the UI if you prefer only a small portion of the trackers that I've put together. The rest of this video is just a quick showcase of all three specs, so you have an idea of the changes I've made and the reasonings behind them. These are still being tweaked to my liking, so I may change the positioning or layout a little bit as we get closer to Dragonflight launch. I have made a couple changes to reduce the screen clutter primarily, so the first thing you'll likely notice is there aren't that many icons visible immediately. Unlike the prior versions that I made in Shadowlands, this is a design feature that I figured would be beneficial, as it'll only show cooldowns when they're either actively buffing you or you are unable to use them. This does take a bit of memorization on your part, since you won't have as many icons to remind you of what talents or cooldowns you may or may not have available. But I think in the long run this is a better way of displaying information, and I like being able to move around my character more and having better positioning and situational awareness, so less things on the screen seems like a good idea. This rule of hiding things is true in 90% of cases, but there are some tracker icons that will be visible almost all the time, if not just much more often than others. This is mainly for talents or effects with multiple charges, such as the new Thistletea Capstone talent, Serrated Bone Spike for Assassination Rogues, and Shadow Dance. Probably the thing that took the most amount of tweaking in the UI was the progress bar trackers for debuffs such as Between the Eyes, Rupture, Garrote, etc. Due to the combinations of no stratagems at all, deeper stratagem, devious stratagem, and secret stratagem, it has just resulted in a lot of versions of some progress bars to account for the pandemic refresh differences based on how many combo points you want to spend. While this is going to look like a wide-awake nightmare if you're just goofing around and you open the Weakauras and you see all these different versions of Slice and Dice, it's nothing to worry about. With the new multi-talent selection system for load conditions, I've made sure that regardless of what spec or talent combination you use or level your character is, the correct bar with an appropriate pandemic glow warning will appear, and there will no longer be the annoying bug of multiple Slice and Dice bars and other dumb stuff like that showing up, which is nice. All of the pandemic glow warnings are based off of you spending the full amount of combo points that you have available based on how many talent points you've taken. So for example, if you have both Deeper Stratagem and Secret Stratagem talented as Subtlety, all of your pandemic refresh bars are going to expect you to spend 7 combo points for the full efficacy. I have also made the glows begin 1 second before the actual pandemic range, so that we have a little bit more time to react to it. As always, my UI looks like some kind of hellish Christmas light show with the numerous colors I use, but this is again an intentional design choice to make each bar more obvious at a glance once you remember the colors. The same color design was done with a number of offensive and defensive cooldowns, as there is now special glow animations when certain moves are actively buffing you. For defensives, this includes Evasion, Cloak of Shadows, and Feint, all giving off a specific color-appropriate yet distinct glow effect, so you'll know exactly which defensive is going on and when it's expired. For offensive cooldowns, this mainly only applies to things like Dreadblades, Deathmark, Shadowblades, and Flagellation. And as I might perhaps just maybe be a little biased towards Outlaw, I have also included an additional chunklet of Weakauras that I've been using to help me keep track of some of the buffs and procs that Outlaw has more easily. This covers things such as your opportunity procs with stacks included, Greenskin's Wickers, and the improved Adrenaline Rush passive, so you'll know exactly when to stop generating combo points for that free top-off that happens when Adrenaline Rush ends when you're talented into that. There are also additional icons that I've nestled right up against both sides of the Roll the Bones buff tracker, also included, which will show how long you have remaining to spend your loaded dice buff, as well as to give you a big, obvious cooldown reminder when the Keep It Rolling cooldown is able to be used. I'm sure there is more I can add or tweak about this, but frankly it already took about a week for me to decide on the style and to get everything working correctly, so this is probably what I'll be rolling with, pun intended, for a while. You may notice I didn't mention the combo point tracker that you see, and that's because it's actually just one I found over on Wago. It was made by Zach over from the Ravenholt Discord, so I'll leave a link to his as well because honestly, it's pretty much the most complete and feature-packed combo point tracker Weakaura that I've used in a while, so I highly recommend it. I did make some small cosmetic tweaks and sizing changes to it, but it still wasn't my Weakaura, hence why it isn't included in the package, sorry. This combo point tracker does work with every combination of combo point talents in the game though, and has built-in Echoing Reprimand combo point tracking as well, which is very handy. Anyways folks, I have more stuff in the works, so hopefully we can kick things into high gear before Dragonflight launch so I can finally get back into making some more videos. It's definitely been way longer than I wanted it to be, but I haven't been quite in the right frame of mind recently, so hopefully the hype for Dragonflight helps alleviate that. I hope these Weakauras prove useful to you. If you ever have any questions, then feel free to either ask in a comment below, you can swing by my community Discord and hit me up, you can swing by Twitter and hit me up over there too, though I'm not quite on there that often, and I also do Twitch streams on Tuesdays and Fridays now. As always, my appreciation and gratitude to all of my viewers, patrons, and now Twitch subs. All of you help make these Shiba Shenanigans possible. Thank you so very much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.